Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do truck update number 2. So we're down here at Wright Metalworks. He's doing all the chassis stuff. We're going to do a couple things other than the chassis stuff, but he's got the cage almost done. So let you guys see it. Alright TJ, what do we got going on in here?
Well, we're getting your cage all set up. We're keeping your factory frame rails to keep it legally a truck. So laid out a few of the bars and stuff. Notched your frame so that we can get in here. Now I'm just going to cap it back off with your frame pieces that were left over and welded up so it's fully integrated in. Still got some bars to add, some support bars and whatnot, but the majority of the perimeter and everything else is all said and done now. Got quite a bit of the welding done, so we'll just keep on moving forward and get your drivetrain all set up, get your drivetrain angle the way I'd like to see it, and keep on moving back.
You know, keep on keeping on, like Joe Dirt would say, you know what I mean? So what else do you have left? I mean, doesn't look like you have too much left. I know we got to move on towards the back of the truck and get the bed off, that way you can tie that in too.
Yeah, so basically I got to do the all the floor support bars and your main frame rails. Or this is kind of a different setup to what you're doing your truck, but lay out all the bars for the floor, your rocker bars and stuff, get all that finished, lift the cab up, weld it all, and then how we're going to finish that. Set your motor up with the transmission, get the drivetrain angle that we want, and the crank height and everything else that we're looking for. And then from there we're going to move to the rear suspension and get your ladder bars all set up.
Yeah. So I went ahead, we had a kind of like an entry-level ladder bar before, so I went ahead and did a pro bar. It's not welded up, there's a bunch of stuff back here, but you guys can see a little bit of it. It's got a lot thicker rod, so it's a chromoly with a 3/4 Heim instead of with skinny 5/8 stuff that we had before. And then the new housing you guys saw in the last video. So I got to get that stuff down here. That way we can set all that up and then get the anti-roll bar welded on and then take the housing, get it powder coated. So we're basically setting this cage up so down the road, if I wanted to, we could take the frame rails kind of like out of the equation, set it on a table.
Yeah, we could take your, I could put it on the chassis table, take the factory frame rails out of the equation, basically just lay new main rails, and then have a full tube chassis vehicle. That'd be
the ultimate thing, and it'd make it a lot lighter. But as far as racing in certain classes with a chassis like that, it's difficult, and it doesn't make that much power. But hey, we're only gonna get faster. Nobody ever plans to get slower, so that's kind of the direction we're taking with it. I do have fiberglass doors for it, and the hood and the bumper are fiberglass. Everything else is steel. Everything else is going to stay steel. I didn't want to do a fiberglass front end on it just because it's kind of a pain in the butt at the track. You got to take it off and do a bunch of stuff, and I don't like to work that hard all the time.
We're getting rid of everything in the bed.
Yeah.
So we're just using bed sides, going to stick them. I got to talk to you about this, but I'm thinking about maybe doing a little work on the back of the frame rails.
That's fine.
Getting rid of a little extra weight we don't need.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, put some supports in from the main cage back to the rear. Do your fronts, and should be ready to go.
Trying to make it as light as possible and keep it legal. So just bed skins is what's going to be on it. It's not going to have a full bed on it. We'll have like a cover. Haven't decided if I want to do carbon or like a black aluminum, but it'll have a wing, parachute, all that stuff on it still too. So we can do a little bit to the rear of the frame. We can't do a lot. There was a truck class that I was racing. The rules have changed, so I can do more back there, but as long as you don't have a round tube chassis, you can fit the class. So the cage cert is going to be 25-2D. So we'll be certified up to 649.25 at 3,200 pounds. So hopefully it'll be a little bit lighter than 3,200 pounds, but she kind of a heavy girl. Full-size truck, full frame rail. The only thing that I talked about in my last video was we tubed the front. So you can kind of see that, put a manual rack on it. So from there backward has factory frame rails. We got some Dillon Samerno race cars, control arms on it, Willwood brakes, just trying to get the front end light. All this stuff's gonna get blasted and coated, so everything's kind of rusty, but it'll be all right. We are gonna redo the hot side because the wastegate placement's kind of You know, I did it myself, and I'm not really the best fabricator, so it's a little crooked. It'll be all right. But we're also gonna lower the motor down a little bit so we can get a little bit better center of gravity. So we're gonna redo the steering shaft, lower the motor down, and get it tinned back in. So one of the most important things we're going to do at this point is we're going to lower the motor down. So it has been mid-plate motor plated, but I set it up in the factory location because I had solid mounts on it. So I kind of just was like, oh, it works here. It left good. It didn't have a problem trying to wheelie. So I was like, okay, we'll set it here. It'd be better with the motor lower. You'll have a better center of gravity and everything will be a lot happier. So what we're going to do is redo the mid-plate motor plate and set it down. What do you think, about 2 inches or so?
Yeah, we'll have to put it at right height to see where, where everything's at height-wise, and then once we have it at right height, I'll set the crank center line up where I want it, and then have our drivetrain angle and everything figured out with your pinion and everything else. So that's basically what we're gonna end up doing. We do your motor plate, your mid plate. Get rid of that heavy 1/4 inch plate and maybe do something a little bit more weight friendly. And then I think, like you said earlier, redo some of the hot side stuff and just kind of clean some stuff up, get some stuff
clean it up, make it look better,
more efficient, and be ready for you to make some power. Yeah,
all the power. We're shooting for about 2,000 horsepower with this thing, so if we can get it to make that, it should go 450s, 460s to the 8th mile, hopefully. I don't do a lot of 1/4 mile racing, but depending on gear, we might run it out the back just for you guys to see what it does. But the motor plate and the mid plate are from Motion Raceworks. We got a rack from ART. All my piping came from Race Part Solutions. They got a big selection of piping. If you guys are fabricating anything, they got pretty much everything you need. Motion Raceworks steering column. We just got to redo a couple things with that because I might have foobarred it when I was welding it, you know what I mean? Everything back here pretty much came from ART. The housing that I have for it came from ART. They're a local company, Applied Racing Technologies. If you guys need anything from them, you can check out their website. Same with Motion Raceworks. They got a bunch of pretty dope products, so anything you guys need, they got it. And my man TJ here, Mr. Fabricator. If you guys want to get anything done, where can they get a hold of you?
You can reach me at 727-309-8778. That's my phone number, cell phone, call me, text me, what have you.
All right, guys. I'll get all TJ's info on there too. That way, if you guys need anything done, you guys can get a hold of him. He can do anything you want, any kind of fabrication, anything with metal, basically. He's just done a killer job for me on everything he's ever done for me. It's just been quality work, so that's why he's got this. So we'll have it done soon, then we can get it wired, get it plumbed, get the transmission and everything in it, and get to making some power, get to make some passes. So we'll get everything in it and we'll get out there, give him hell. Put the light up? No, that's all right. All right, guys, this is another project he's got here. He just built this set of headers for this thing. It's a big block Mopar.
Yeah, big block Mopar. Based on like the wedge style big block Mopar. It's gonna get a blower on it. PSI screw blower is what he's looking to run. 10-inch extended wheelbase. But built the zoomies. Got to finish up some of the supports and whatnot, and then made all the flanges, shaping all them up and getting them all done for some flush mounted Lexan.
He made all these rails, that way when he mounts the Lexan, it'll all be flush, so it won't be popped up or anything like that. It'll look really, really clean. He made this little piece here.
So basically be 1/4 inch Lexan, so it'll sit in there just like that, nice and flush, and not setting down like most.
Yeah, that'll look good. I love blower cars, but all right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode.